First is titled Golakganj. Golakganj is a place between India and Bangladesh. It's on the border. Golakganj. After a long ride down a road newly raised and porcupined against the river, we unload our cameras on a rice field, half India, half immigrant. It's 2 weeks past the 26th of January and they are celebrating. The rain came first, and let me tell you, it was cold. We had to postpone the Republic. His lungi is muddy, his ganji crusted with sweat. This looks like the map of Bangladesh. He laughs, then asks if the camera is on. I stand on the raised border, 2 endless lines of concertina, 4 strings on each line, the space in between heaped with more coiled wire. I wonder, but don't ask if they are electrified. The border policeman on his bicycle stops, eats his lunch on the grass. He has never cycled across the lines. The air from the other side, filtered through the metal screen, should, but doesn't smell different. I had more expectations from my first international border. There on that raised mound, where 4 lines of betel nut mark a rectangle and still ripen every March, inside that was home. Our mobile phones still catch the network signal from the other side. He feeds us country chicken and fish. We sit on his wife's furniture, 5 years old, but the varnish still glossy. The false ceiling, an old sari, could have been his mother's. And the door I lean against looks old, so old, it could be the last remnant of the home across the lines. The second poem, both these poems are from my upcoming anthology titled Betel Nut City. The second poem is titled A Little Shopping for My Father. A little shopping for my father. 7 years before he passed, the old man thrust a 100-rupee note in my hand and whispered that I and I alone should buy the 10 meters of plain white cloth for my father, his eldest son. Someone scolded him. "You fool," they said. "How can you make him do this?" But my grandfather was not at fault. He didn't own his mind, and worse, he didn't own anyone's trust. Some kind soul took the blood money from my hand, but later in the afternoon when the burial was over, I walked between the mosque and the hardware store, a polythene bag tightly wrapped around my brain, and a passing stranger asked if I was hungry. He walked me to a sweet store, almost gloated as I sat silently, my cheeks puffed with too much crying, my lips burning with sugar syrup. The stranger left me his handkerchief and enough money to pay for the meal. Thank you.
Thank you, Salim. And the poet is Mrs. Shaima Afreen. She is a renowned poet, novelist, short story writer. Her poems have been featured in the Hackney's Review, the Oklahoma Review, and NASA Review, and Notre Dame Review, and Bellingham Review, and Foliate of Literary Magazine, Friends Journal, Short Class Journal, etc. Presently, she works as a journalist in Features Department of the New Indian Express, Hyderabad. She has 11 years of experience